So I already thought kettlebells were the bee's knees, that they were just awesome, a great tool to get you fit from anywhere. But in doing research for this video, I came across many new studies and benefits that I wasn't even aware of that I of course want to share with you all today in the hopes that it convinces you to also become a kettlebell convert. Hola everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Alexandra Templeton and I am a personal trainer and yoga instructor currently based in Brussels, Belgium. And for this week's video, we're back at it with another fitness challenge. So in this video, we're highlighting the kettlebell swing, also known as hip hinge. And the challenge will be 50 kettlebell swings every day for the next week. Now, the kettlebell swing is a fabulous move that works to build strength, explosiveness, and serves as a low-impact form of cardio. It also serves as a base for many other classic kettlebell combinations. So this challenge video may be the jumping off point of a kettlebell series I run here on my channel because I have seen fabulous results both in my own training using kettlebells as well as those that I program for my clients. So let me know down below if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing and I'll be happy to put something together. But the structure of today's video is going to be the 7 days of kettlebell swings, including different varieties you can try because I'll be doing 50 each day, so I want to keep things interesting by mixing it up with different variations of the swing. And then at the end of the video, we're going to debrief with the biggest takeaways of the week's challenge, as well as going into some of the benefits of kettlebell swings and kettlebell training in general, and why you may want to incorporate it into your workouts. Hello everybody, so we've made it to the end of the week-long kettlebell challenge and things went really well. So the second half of this video is going to focus on a few of the takeaways from the challenge as well as going over proper form cues for the kettlebell swing and then getting into some of the benefits of kettlebell training and why you may want to incorporate kettlebells into your workout sessions. So let's jump right in. So starting first with the takeaways of the week's challenge. Kettlebell swings are really fun and I try to incorporate them into almost every workout that I do, but doing them like this over a week was a different game altogether. First of all, as you can see from the clips, I varied not only the weight, but also the type of swing that I was doing throughout the course of the week. One, to provide in this video different examples of how many styles of kettlebell swing there are, but also to keep things interesting. And some days I was more sore, so I went with a lighter weight. And then some days I was ready to take on my Black Mamba 28 kilo kettlebell. But all in all, it went really well. My bum, my glutes, and my back were consistently sore, which is to be expected because the kettlebell swing largely focuses on building up the strength of the posterior chain. Next up, a few form cues, or how to properly kettlebell swing. Now, the kettlebell swing is also referred to as the hip hinge, which gives a lot of insight into how the body should be moving throughout the exercise. So first, practicing this without any weight, you're going to work to pull your hips back or hinge your hips back with a small bend at the knee, working to stretch through the hamstrings, and then driving the hips forward, squeezing the glutes at the top, locking out the knees. A few things we want to avoid in the kettlebell swing. Rather than having it be a hip hinge movement or hip dominant movement, some people turn it into more of a squat. We want to have minimal knee flexion throughout, working instead to elongate the hamstrings as we pull the hips back, and then thrust the hips forward, squeezing the glutes. Additionally, we don't want to have much going on with the arms, so I recommend keeping the hands as close to your crotch as you can throughout the movement, keeping the elbows close to the side so that you're not tempted to fling them up. So as you thrust the weight forward, the arms will kind of naturally just hold the bell just so that doesn't fly in front of you. Power is coming from the hips, so thrusting the hips forward is what will generate the bell to come up. The same form cues apply to whether you're doing a swing with 2 hands or with just 1 hand. So I'd recommend you start with either very light weight or with body weight, getting used to the hip hinging movement and how it differs from a squat. And then once you get more confident with the cues I just mentioned, then you can slowly up your weight, always remembering that the power comes from the hips and the glutes. So keeping that thrusting motion strong. So the last part of today's video is going to be diving into some of the science behind kettlebell training. So I already thought kettlebells were the bee's knees, that they were just awesome, a great tool to get you fit from anywhere. But in doing research for this video, I came across many new studies and benefits that I wasn't even aware of that I of course want to share with you all today in the hopes that it convinces you to also become a kettlebell convert. I will link to all of the research articles that I found and read in the description box below if you also want to nerd out. But let's start things off with the history of the kettlebell. So broadly speaking, there are 2 main kettlebell training camps. There's the Gittovoy sports style and the hard style. Now, Gittovoy was founded by a guy named Valery Fedorenko, a Russian, and this style aims to conserve energy in the movement so that the person, he or she, can be efficient over a long period of time. So they're using much higher repetitions. The hard style, for example, was founded by another Russian, or technically Belarusian, named Pavel Tsatsouline. And this works on power optimization in the short term. So they're working to use lower reps than in Gittovoy and really explosive technique to be able to perform each rep with optimum power. So roughly speaking, you can think of hard style as power optimization and Gittovoy as power conservation. And as for some of the benefits of kettlebell swings, benefit number 1 is that it's a fabulous tool for improving strength and explosiveness. The kettlebell swing works to improve lumbo-pelvic hip complex patterning and posterior chain power during horizontal movements, which can contribute to increased power in other sports. So the glutes are the largest muscle in our body, and with the right kind of training, they can assist in proper execution of many other compound movements. And the kettlebell swing is also the base for many more advanced kettlebell combinations, such as the kettlebell clean, snatch, the double kettlebell swing. So by first nailing this one and feeling really confident with your kettlebell swing, you unlock an array of more advanced and fun combinations for your future workouts. Variety is the spice of life. There have also been many studies on the positive effects that kettlebell training can have on strength and explosiveness when implemented as part of a consistent program. The results of this study clearly demonstrate that 6 weeks of bi-weekly kettlebell training provides a stimulus that is sufficient to increase both maximum and explosive strength, offering a useful alternative to strength and conditioning professionals seeking variety for their athletes. Benefit numero 2 is that kettlebell training is a form of resistance training. And resistance training is a wonderful way to increase the percentage of lean muscle mass you have, as well as increasing your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. So this is something that I went into much more depth on in my how to get abs video, which I'll link now in the upper right hand corner. But your BMR, basal metabolic rate, makes up a large part of your metabolic equation, or your metabolism. It's just the amount of energy your body needs to sustain its current state without doing any activity. And so the great thing is, by incorporating some kind of resistance training into your daily or your weekly programming, you are increasing your percentage of lean body mass and also, as such, increasing your BMR, because muscle is very taxing for the body and it needs much more energy just to sustain it. So if you have more muscle, it means that you also have to eat more to sustain that muscle. So who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to just be able to eat more because your body demands it? You know, you want to stay strong, so you need to eat to stay strong. And this is especially important for my ladies watching, because although there are many upsides to being a woman, one of the downsides is that we are more likely to suffer from osteoporosis and sarcopenia as we age. However, both of these processes can be slowed with the addition of resistance training. For elderly people with sarcopenia, participating in kettlebell training significantly increases the sarcopenia index, grip strength, back strength, and PEF. In addition, the retention effect of the training program continued after 4 weeks of detraining. So this study tested 33 women aged 65 to 75 and was a program of 8 weeks of bi-weekly kettlebell training for 60 minutes each. And at the end of the 8 weeks program, all of the women measured higher sarcopenia index scores. And the sarcopenia index is a new kind of blood test that tests or that measures the amount of skeletal muscle mass we have in the body. Benefit number 3 is that kettlebell training is super accessible. So they require very little space. There are dozens of combinations you can do to keep each workout interesting. They're affordable, and they're great for new lifters or those just starting out on a fitness journey to learn proper form technique for many of the compound and common exercises. So many of the studies that I found when researching for this video cited the effectiveness of kettlebell training when implemented into a program of 2 to 4 times a week. Now, if you're new to working out and you're looking to take on a program and you want to start working out maybe 3 or 4 times a week, I think it's wise to eliminate as much friction as possible so that you can really stick to that plan and start to see results. Now, one reason I love kettlebells, as I said, is that they take up very little space. So I have them here essentially in my living room, and each day I manage to do a workout in this very small space. I mentioned also that kettlebells are a great way for novice lifters to learn proper form technique in the deadlift or the squat or the overhead press. And another benefit to having it in your home or having it close by is that it takes out a lot of the intimidation, the intimidation that comes with working out in a gym. So especially if you're not entirely sure of your form or you can't maybe afford a trainer, it's a really good way to practice the moves at home, get comfortable with them, and get in some time there before you take it into a gym. Because as someone who used to work in a gym and has worked out in many gyms, I know it's not always the most comfortable place. Or if you want to stick with something that's more hygienic, having them at home is a much better option. And the last point I want to make here, which some may see as a drawback, but I am choosing to spin into a benefit, is that kettlebells are a great way to train for hypertrophy or muscle gain. Now, those who see it as a drawback may be my gym rat viewers and say, I won't be able to lift as heavy as I would in the gym, or I won't be able to get the same kind of stimulus that a barbell would give me, which is true because kettlebells generally are lighter. The ones that do go up to, I believe, 200 pounds, I think very few people have, and they can get quite pricey. And they're also shaped in a very strange way. The load is not evenly dispersed as it is in a barbell, so that is true. I will give you that. However, my side of the benefit to this is that there are some drawbacks to barbell training as well. It's a little bit more difficult to maneuver, and going heavier doesn't always mean greater gains. So I choose to promote on this channel, and what I have for my own workouts and those that I program with my clients is promoting full range of motion in every move. So for a squat, this means ass to grass, getting as far down as you will go, which requires a greater degree of mobility in the ankles. It requires greater knee flexion, greater hip mobility. Overhead press, same thing, complete press overhead. And these are all things that lighter weights allow you to achieve. So you can still find heavy weight with a kettlebell, you can still get the stimulus there, but rather than always going for heavier weight to seek more gains, I would say challenge the body in different ways. This is something that I've mentioned a few different times on my Instagram. I have a weekly post called Workout Wednesday. Go and check that out. But there are many different ways to incorporate progressive overload to continue to get stronger in your workouts. One of them is increasing the weight. One of them is increasing your time under tension in the most difficult part of the exercise, or including negatives, elongating the eccentric portion of the movement. There are so many ways to make it more difficult, and one of the most, I think, valuable ways is also seeking full range of movement. So not only making your body stronger, but also making it more mobile simultaneously, because then you are, as I like to say, training in a ninja kind of way. You're making sure that you are staying strong and flexible and fast, and this is what I believe is the key formula to keeping your workouts sustainable and keeping your body functional and healthy and strong for the long run. And that's all for today's video. I did have this last speaking portion wearing my beautiful new shirt, my kind of heavy metal kettlebell tee, which is part of my new collection, I guess you could say, of kettlebell and workout apparel over on my Etsy shop. I release a new design every week and have everything on there from tank tops to t-shirts to hoodies. I'm really loving it. It's been a huge passion project, and I'm trying to create things that I would want to wear as someone who enjoys working out, and for my fellow kettlebell and yoga enthusiasts to show a little bit of creativity, show a little bit of style, and things that are going to promote a a journey towards optimal health and wellness. So I'll link to that down in the description box below. And if you'd like a 20% off code, be sure to visit my Instagram. I have a little code over there in my bio. You can get 20% off your entire order. But thank you all so much for joining. I hope that I provided some valuable insight into the benefits of kettlebell training. Again, all of those research studies will be linked in the description box below if you want to go into more depth. But yeah, I think it's the greatest. And as I said in the intro, this may be a first video in a series I run here of different kind of kettlebell combinations or different kettlebell movements. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I would be happy to respond to any and take any requests for future videos. But with that, wishing you all a beautiful rest of your day. Don't forget to hit the like button down below so that the YouTube algorithm pushes this kind of stuff to other people who may also benefit from kettlebell training. And make sure to subscribe to join the family. I upload new videos every week. But yes, wishing you a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.